But yeah, let me read New Soul Nine's chats because he dropped quite a few uh chats here. And I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, before I read them, if you guys want to support the channel, you know what to do. Consider becoming a member, gifted memberships, super chats, direct donations. They all help. I can only do what I do here because you guys make it possible. And I'm very grateful for that. So thank you to everybody who contributes. It really does make all the difference in the world. Sincerely, I mean that. But New Soul 9 dropped quite a few super chats. He says, MBG, I got a couple of super chats. I wanted to comment on the whole exclusivity with Xbox. To me, it's something they shouldn't focus on or bother looking into with their first party games because they'll gain exclusives naturally to market their next generation. So, for example, Asha Sharma presents Helix to the public. She can theoretically say, we're going back to exclusivity, games that are only available on Helix, which we all know Helix is just a PC console, and proceed to mention games like the Horizon Steel Frontiers, only on Helix, technically, not on PS5, which is interesting to think. Star Citizen, only on Helix, technically, not on PS5. Windrose, only on Helix, and many more like you saw at Summer Game Fest. This would make it where Asha would be upholding slash satisfying both parties, the fan base and the business, unless they are thinking of making the Windows Store go against Steam. That's the only rational way I see them going back to first party exclusives. Very interesting take there, New Soul. And, you know, that kind of, you're highlighting, I think, the big thing that everybody, if not everybody, a lot of people are very focused on with today's Xbox showcase, and that is, are they going back to exclusives? The big game that everybody's asking about right now is Gears of War E Day, which we will talk about because there are some strange things going on with Gears of War E Day that it seems like we're not really going to know until the moment happens later on today, and they say, hey, it's coming everything or it's Xbox only. But what you're saying here, New Soul, I mean, it is technically true, right? Like when Helix comes out, if it really does have all the capabilities of a Windows PC, and it essentially is a PC, and you have access to every storefront, that technically does make it so that this device has, quite a few games on it that are not available on either the PlayStation 5 or the Switch 2. So the games you mentioned, like if they wanted to, they could kind of flex that. But I think the problem with that, truthfully, New Soul, is that if you look at the way Asha Sharma has been engaged with the fans and responding to the fans, I think she's aware, at least you would assume, you would hope she's aware, that I don't think that's what Xbox fans are actually asking for. Because even though what you're saying is technically true, like they could have the best of both worlds. Hey, we got exclusives for you. They're all the games that are available on PC that aren't available on PS5. I think on the flip side of that, what the actual Xbox fans, not all of them, but the more hardcore ones, the ones that are you see being most vocal, they're really coming out and making it known like, no, we want like exclusives. You know what I mean? Like we want to go back to the glory days. We want Gears of War E Day to be exclusive. We want the next Halo to be exclusive. We want as many games as possible. We want the Elder Scrolls 6 to be exclusive. And they, like, to be honest, what they want is they want to see the return to the console wars, because, well, I think that's why a lot of people ended up buying an Xbox because of those exclusive games. That's what won them over. So, I do agree with everything you're saying, New Soul. Like, you're absolutely correct. And the idea that they would be able to flex Horizon Steel Frontiers would be so funny. That would be so funny, bro. Um, I just think that if they were to do what you're proposing, it wouldn't it wouldn't satiate the most vocal group of people that clearly Asha Sharma and the Xbox team are very much trying to speak to and satiate. You get what I'm saying? But it's very interesting food for thought, and we'll be paying close attention to what happens with Project Helix and the PC side of things, because the last thing you said here before I move on is you said that the only way them going back to like true first party exclusivity makes any sense is if they're trying to go against Steam. Steam OS is becoming a bigger thing. It's proliferating, and uh, you know, to be honest, it does seem like, I don't know, they might be trying to in some way, shape, or form go after Steam. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. And New Soul, you dropped one more $5 chat saying anybody had cannoli cheesecake with strawberries on top. Mrs. MBG would love that without the strawberries. She's deathly allergic to strawberries, but she loves cannoli cake. New Soul, you're saying MBG respectfully putting it on another storefront like Steam makes it where it's not exclusive. Exclusives means only available in one store or ecosystem that is still under the company of Microsoft. And that's technically true, New Soul, but here's the question, right? Like, if Microsoft is going back to what they said before, they're like, we'll put it on Xbox consoles, we'll put it on the Xbox app on PC, we'll put it on Steam. You can have it on anything where Game Pass is available. Then what are they back to? They're back to where Phil Spencer was a couple years ago, where it's like, we just want you to not buy a PlayStation. We want you to not buy a Switch. And that's to me the most important part of this, because you're correct, dude. You're correct. Like, it's technically not exclusive, like truly, because you can get it in these other places. But it's console, like they're making it clear, like, no PS5, no Switch 2. We want you to buy our console. Keep in mind, they just killed the This is an Xbox initiative. So, and on New Soul, you got a couple more here. You say Steam is not under Microsoft. It's an independent entity, just like PlayStation. Agreed. And that's where it's like, again, I just don't know. I don't know what they're trying to achieve. I'm excited. Like, yeah, put more pressure on Sony, bro. But it's like, I don't, like, you're back to trying to get people to not buy PlayStation 5s. I don't know, dude. The last guy who tried to do that, Phil Spencer, found out pretty badly. Bro was like, I'm making Starfield exclusive. All right? Oh, what's that? I love how Phil Spencer's acting like this. Oh, what's that, Sony ponies? Oh, you thought you were getting Starfield for PS5? No, that's Xbox console exclusive, baby, so you better get up and go buy a console. Maybe if he came out with that energy, people would have. But he did that, and everybody was like, we're good, bro. We're just going to keep buying PlayStations and Switches. And that's, I said numerous times, bro, somebody at Microsoft, probably Phil Spencer, is punching air, because he tried to do exclusives. He paid the money. He bought Bethesda, dude, to make Starfield exclusive. And it's like, yeah, this is going to do it, right? And it's like, nothing. No, it's not doing anything. And that's why Phil is probably looking at this and literally punching air right now. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, now y'all want to go get excited about exclusives? I'm telling you, Phil's the loser here. I hate to say that, but it's like this is crazy, where it's like, I'm pretty sure Phil originally wanted Gears of War E-Day to be exclusive. And, the only reason it was ever in development for PS5 was because it's like, yeah, we got to do this. All right, hold on. We got I missed this a super chat. Cheese, you're saying, what if she gets the credit card like Phil? Or like I said, she pulls every IP from Sony, ABK, and Bethesda games, Minecraft, etc. Be great for competition. If that happens, I'll tell you, like, what we're seeing now is a kind of like, we're starting. Gears exclusive, Clockwork exclusive. Maybe we're going to get rid of the PS5 logos going forward. She's setting the stage. If that's the plan, Cheese, we're pulling everything. Oh boy. So it's like, Sony, I don't know what your plans are. I don't know what you've been preparing, but you're going to have to I would be so excited to see that, because Sony would literally have no choice but to go scorched earth. That would mean Sony went from being on top, number one, getting everything, to where you just lost some of the biggest publishers in the world now, potentially, to your competition, and they're going for your juggler. Sony's going to have to get defensive, they're going to have to get reactive, and they're going to have to be on their fucking guard, dude, and on their toes. And just a reminder, the last time Sony had to do that, we got the second half of the PS3 gen. We got the entirety of the PS4 gen. I would love to see Microsoft do that. My question to that, though, is like, are you willing? Like, truly, from a business standpoint, are you willing to just lose that money, though? Because that's the whole thing here, is they've already been losing money, but maybe they've altered their perception of it, where they're like, listen, if we're going to lose money, let's make it a long-term play, and let's make it be for something. Rather than trying to please the shareholders on a quarterly basis, let's just start to rally the fans, and hopefully that will build momentum. But, I think we do have to ask the question, in all seriousness, we have to ask this. What if Gears of War flops because it's now Xbox console exclusive? I don't think it will. It's Gears. I think Xbox players will probably show up for that. But what if it really misses the mark? And, is my question is to Asha Sharma and Xbox, are you going to eat that and be like, that's fine. That's totally fine. We anticipated that. We did this for the fans. We did this to build goodwill. And that's what we're going to keep doing. Telling you that would be a gut punch to Sony. And I would love to see it, because Sony, it's like, Sony, you're going to have to start building your own goodwill now. Again. It's a natural way of things, guys. All you PlayStation guys. You thought you were just going to sit back and get all Xbox games, all third-party games, all Sony games, and the only thing you were going to miss out on was Nintendo. I feel like that's basically the message that's being sent right now. Think again. This is awesome, though, man. It's just awesome because it's like, I really didn't... I did think with Gears they would, but the fact they came out and they're like, it's never going to PS5. I'm like, dude, oh my God, they're doing it. I didn't think they would do it. They're doing it. Phil literally punched his computer screen today. Phil Spencer literally fucking took a hammer to his fucking his Xbox today. New Soul, you're saying this is why I said they needed to lean into PC games that are not available on neither Xbox Series consoles nor PlayStation or Switch. That is pure exclusivity. So here's what makes what you said earlier, New Soul, even more interesting. You did open the stream today talking about that. So let me get this straight. By the time Helix comes out, this is what Sony's going to have to deal with. Helix is going to be a console PC hybrid. So it'll have a console version for people who want that. You can make it a full-blown PC if you want it to be that. It's going to have Steam. So with that comes potentially hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know, thousands of games that are not available on any console right now that they'll be able to say you can have access to. And there's also going to be a certain amount of PlayStation games that Sony themselves put on PC before they decided we're not doing this anymore. And, could Sony delist them? Maybe. But, I mean, it's already there. You know what I mean? People can buy them right now and secure them on Steam and play them on their Helix. And they're going to now start to come out. And this is the big one. Now they're signaling, and then going forward, we're actually going to have games that are not coming to PS5 or Switch. See, this is where you almost have to start to ask the question, almost, did everything Microsoft just do in the last 24 months, was it all a play to get Sony, butter them up, make them comfortable, get them nice and relaxed? Because then, come Project Helix, come 2027, we are going scorched earth. I don't know. This is why Sony's coming out and being like, we got to go back to true exclusives ourselves. It makes sense. They clearly saw something coming. And I think this is what they saw. So It kind of explains Sony's decision as well to a certain extent.
Now, this all depends, what I'm saying, this all technically depends on where exactly they want to end it at. And let me elaborate when I say that. Um, it's one thing that you want to just have marketing rights, be able to have products that is going to help you and benefit you so you can proceed to market Xbox Helix and say, hey, these games are only available on Helix, not to even mention are it's going to give you the best performance, it's going to give you the best frame rates, yada yada yada, all that stuff. If that's what essentially just you want is have the inherent ability to be able to market it, then okay, you have it. Now, if you don't just want to specifically end it there and you want to go further than that, where not only you want to have marketing to be able to sell Helix, you also want to dominate in the sense of a storefront. That's a whole different conversation at that point, because in that sense all those games that I just mentioned, just such as Horizon Steel Frontiers, Star Citizen, I forgot the other name of that game, but you get what I mean. All the other games that are only accessible in the PC ecosystem, you won't be able to do that because those games that I mentioned are inherently also on Steam. And if, like I mentioned, you're trying to dominate instead of also in a storefront way, then you're gonna have to lock them down away from Steam. So you're gonna have to use your first party and lock it down specifically to the Windows Store. And you're not going to make them accessible neither on the Xbox Series consoles. So it basically all depends on where exactly do you want to end the line. Do you just want to end it where you just want to have marketing opportunities so you can push out Helix? Or do you want to extend it and go further than that and also dominate in sense of a storefront?